Hey everyone, I'm back. Welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm. So I have a new subscriber, so thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I do appreciate it more than you begin to imagine. Alright, so in this video I am going to complete the third chapter of Strange Pictures. And yes, it is strange in itself. So, back in chapter 2, we're introduced to a woman called Naomi, who is basically being followed by this man, or woman, we later on find out it's a man, and the sight of him scares her. We have the little boy. So, as the second half of chapter 3 moves along, the young man who basically was trying to find out the truth, he ended up doing the same thing that the previous victim did, and that was to draw a picture. So, what picture did he draw? No idea. It's supposed to be the mountains, but maybe he added a little more to it. No idea, which is why I'm really eager to buy the book. We find out quite simply how the killer, who is a woman, was able to kill her victim. And quite simply by tying him up while he was in his sleeping bag. And does the same thing to the young man. Same meal, everything. This time around, however, apparently the clue the young man left behind was good enough for his protege to find out who killed him. So, remember, I don't know if you remember it, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the gentleman who was working on the case interviewed the man's wife, or widow. And what ended up happening was she started to get suspicious of this guy. But because he was dropped from it, because he was in treatment and everything, she didn't try to hurt him. However, the big mistake she made was killing the young man, and he's been looking for her for a very long time. So, one of the things that is very ingenious about murder victims, especially if you allow them to live long enough, they can leave clues behind for police to find. That's why you have defensive wounds, that's why you have bite wounds, things like that. It's all designed to ensure that your killer is caught. This is why people do it. It's why people try to inflict as much damage to someone as possible so that they can get peace. So, at the end of chapter 3, we find out that the gentleman who's been following Naomi is the reporter, or former reporter, that was talking to her back when her husband died, or person died. So anyways, so I am really, really loving this picture, or this book. So hopefully the last chapter, which is also in 2 parts, is going to shed light on exactly the truth. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and put this on the charger. And, yeah. So, the book that I'm on right now that has 4 people waiting on it, I am currently on chapter 5 of that book. So, we'll see what happens. So, I will actually be reading 5 all the way to chapter 11. but I will not be doing any kind of like what I'm doing with this one, because this just is a really interesting concept for a book. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.